one. We are one. We are one. We are one. Oh, man, that damn guitar on that song, couldn't he? Child. The music. Musicians, when they use instruments and the words of the song did something to your soul. It made you want to elevate. It made you want to grow. It made you want to evolve. That music that make you feel good, like really feel good. It don't make you hate someone else. You don't got to put nobody else down in order to feel good. It's like, because a lot of music these days, it gives this false sense of confidence when you think about it. It's giving like music nowadays, these youngins, they got to put down other people. These hoes ain't like me and blah, 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 blah. And I fucked your baby daddy. Like they got to put other people down in order to be confident. It's something about finding that confidence and loving yourself without feeling like you got to put somebody down. If we are all one, we are all connected. I'm hearing earth, wind, and fire right now. If we are all the anthropology, that makes sense. The study of anthropology is, yes, that makes a lot of sense. I'm hearing it's always been symbols in our music. We just couldn't say certain things because the industry wouldn't let us get it out. So we had to hide a lot of the symbols in our music. We had to hide a lot of what we believed and what we were doing through the words. There are codes in the music. And the codes unlock your soul. That's why when you hear our music, you want to dance. That's why when you hear our music, you want to sing. That's why when you hear our music, a breakup sounds like a love song. Because we helped you unlock parts of your soul that that you didn't even know were really there, because there's so many toxins in the air and in your ear that gives you another sense of identity, but that identity takes you away from your core. I always wore the color white because I wanted you to know that whoever you are, whatever you do, you are always walking in pureness because you are one with the Creator. We are all one with the Creator. And as long as we are at peace with whatever we do, whatever we come in is in peace. No matter what our history is, a certain aspects, the mistakes that we made, we did whatever we did, with the information that we had. But the problem with right now is that the current information that's being given is changing the perspective of a lot of the youngins right now, and we're losing. But I have faith. I have faith because my death is going to solve some things amongst my bandmates, my label, things of what they did. They're going to see how much my fans really love me. Retribution. But it's also going to be a rise of new musicians, the increase of instruments being used again, and people speaking from their heart in a place where they're truly expressing themselves and not hiding their true feelings and who they really are. And I'm going to be the muse of that. And that's why I sacrificed a lot of what I did. I died peacefully, surrounded by love. I knew my time was coming. I prepared for this. I gave my all to the day that I died. I found my purpose. Even on the times when I was broke as hell, but all the families was listening to my music in their households, they didn't even know I was broke. I didn't have a dime. But I was doing what I loved, and it made me feel full. I never went without anything, whether if it was a fan sending me a fruit arrangement, or whether if it was someone randomly putting me onto an interview or something that paid me. I always had what I needed, so I didn't worry about it. And I knew that I was worth more in death than I was alive, but I also knew that I wasn't going to be killed when I died. I knew I was going to die peacefully. So nothing ever worried me. I was in peace. 77. 7 is the number of intuition, instinct, information. Deduces down to a 5, the number of change, flexibility, freedom. Hopefully, I'm able to pull people out of the cages that have been built around their minds. At this time, please protect your mind. Our deaths are not the only deaths that are happening, but our deaths is like the catalyst for the millennials and their parents to really realize their place in society right now. They're realizing just how much of their childhood and their younger days is starting to pass away, and they are going to want to preserve it more. So just like how we have museums, anthropology, just like we have museums of the past and we keep these different symbols and memories, the things that we did and created is going to be symbolized in the same way. Allow this to fuel your passion. Allow the memories that I made to fuel your passion. I toured every summer. I toured every summer. 76 is one of my favorite years of life. But I toured every summer, okay? Because I loved what I did. And one of my favorite cities to go to was Detroit. Because, baby, Detroit, they had the pallets out. I would be outside at the theater, and they had their pallets out, and they'd be up dancing with partners and they loved ones, and all you felt was love. Everywhere I went, it was love. Everywhere I went, it was love. I never felt hate outside of the industry. And that's why I was always protected, because of the love of my fans. They kept me going. They kept my heart going. They kept me strong. And when my heart gave out, it's because I told it I was ready. Many people worried about my sexuality. They were wondering about the wrong things. They were wondering about the wrong things, okay? Sexuality means nothing at the end of the day. What matters is what you feel and how people make you feel. And one thing I will never do is force myself to be around people if I ain't got to be around them. So whether I liked women, whether I liked men, whether I liked whatever, just know I was always surrounded by love. And you ain't got to know my business. And you ain't got to tell your business to other people. You ain't got to tell your business to other people. Focus on what you love to do. I love James Baldwin. He was able to get to the core of issues of what was going on, and as he spoke his feelings and his words, it's like the same thing that I did with my music. He was the same way with his writing. It still tickles me to this day that I got everybody dancing to a breakup song. Before I let go. And it lets you know and reminds you that all breakups and endings don't have to be bad. Sometimes we have to really be able to sit with ourselves, and when we make those decisions, when we leave, have that peace. Because that peace means a lot. That peace means a lot. That peace is what's going to open doors for you. Okay? I've had so many doors opened up for me when they said I wasn't. If you only knew, they didn't want to give me no budget to tour. Okay? But I still always had what I needed. They didn't give me no budget, but we still always had what we needed. And that's how we always knew that we had God on our side. I used to feel invincible, and that's the other piece of my white. Like, I felt like like I was so connected in some way, and this isn't to be cocky. And don't let anyone make you feel like you're cocky because of how you show up when you show up confident. Because just because you wear white, it doesn't mean like, oh, it means that you're comfortable and you're purely comfortable with who you are and everything that you've done and how you live. You can't hide when you're wearing white. When you see that blemish happen in your life, you reflect on it. You clean it off, okay? Or you keep. I did have my thing where I didn't like to wear certain types of shirts twice, okay? After the first wash, I would give it away. Or after the first wear, I would give it away. Because it's like after that first wear, it's never the same. And that's how life is a lot of times too, when you think about love and our relationships with people. After we blemish something in that relationship, the relationship typically never goes back to what it was before that blemish. And so that's why it's not always a good idea to go back to the past. It's not a good idea to go back to the past that caused these blemishes on your clothes that you have to wear on your outside. So if you're continuously going back to the past and the things that threw ketchup on you and mustard and all these other things, and you want to keep going back after you keep washing it, eventually that white is going to look very dingy. Don't let anyone turn you into dingy white. You deserve to always be in that pure Queen of Swords white. Leave the past in the past. Because if the past was meant to be with you in the future, then you would have been to where you wanted to be with that past there. We have to accept when things have an ending date or an ending point. And know that all endings does not mean something bad. And it's okay to look back, to make sure you're making the right decision. I want to make sure I'm right, girl, before I let go. Now we had our good times. It's okay to look back before you make that final decision. But when you make that final decision, you need to stand on it. Today is a day where many people around the world remember it for certain meanings. Different people have a different memory of this day. And other days too, of different events and things in their life. And what that date meant to them. And they create meaning. But know that at the end of the day, you're the creator and the protector of your memories. You can choose how you choose to look at something. You can choose how you decide to decipher something. Analyze all things. There's snakes in the industry. There's snakes in the real world. But when you always follow your intuition the first time, and that's why that 7-7 is so important. Because 7 is a number of intuition. And when you follow your intuition the first time, you can avoid a lot. I could have been dead multiple times before my time. But it's something about God where I just got out of that thing, honey. Like, get me out of here. Out here chasing tail, okay? Out here chasing tail, trying to get wet. Trying to get my thing wet, okay? Don't allow yourself to get caught up in anything. Even if you can never make it to the continent of Africa in the physical form, make sure you find like your connection to that space in some kind of way. Protect your memories and have it in your heart. The Empress, Eight of Pentacles, King of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. The Empress is where it all began. The only one of these cards that has a number on it is the Eight of Pentacles, which is about being diligent about all things that you do. It's about learning and sticking to something. Making a decision and sticking with it. Because you'll never know how it finally ends up if you're not consistent. So find what you love and always do that. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. I'll be back. Beautiful little striped butterfly. I'll be back. Because I like being on Earth. As much as a lot of people didn't like it, it was fun to me. Once I realized that I could create the fun, because I wasn't always like that, okay? I wasn't always like that. I was once so moved and swayed by everything that happened. Everything that happened, I was moved and swayed by it. But then one day, this man sat me down because he saw me hanging with these no good boys, okay, trying to fit in. And he said, young man, that ain't you. He was sitting on his little stoop. He said, that ain't you. I didn't realize what he meant until some time later. I appreciate everybody I meet. The letters that was sent, I loved it, honey. It got to a point where I had to have somebody read them to me, though, because, baby, my eyes, I couldn't read them, okay? The reading glasses wasn't hidden. I needed to go, okay? But you can bet your body got a while that I heard it. And I knew how much I love me. And that's why I kept going. Because when you find what you love, nothing can stop you from it. Nothing stops you from it. Because that determination that you have inside of you through finding something that you care for and you love so deeply, it's like it gives you this sense of peace in the midst of the storm. Because you can choose to either look at the storm or you can create your heaven in the midst of the storm. So to me, I would look at the storm and laugh. Like, what you about to do to me? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Oh, people call me cocky. They call me cocky, conceited, whatever you want to call it, baby, okay? I don't care. I knew who I was. And that's why I sang what I sang, because I want you to always remember who you are. Don't forget that. Don't lose it. Don't lose sight of it. Everything starts with a dream and someone stepping in and making sure you get put on the correct path. So appreciate the people who come into your life and show you a part of yourself that you hadn't experienced before. Write a song about them if you need to. My experiences, I turned my experiences into beauty. Because I realized what I was going through was no different from what so many other people was going through around me. And I said, wait, hold on. What I'm seeing, what I'm experiencing, let me just put it all out on this. And that's what happened. I became a household name by turning my pain into my creative expression. Can't understand why we treat each other in this way. Taking up time with those silly, silly games we play. Who can't relate to that? Who can't relate to that? Raise your hand if you can't. Okay? Raise your hand if you have never questioned if leaving somebody was the best decision. If you ain't go back to say, let's give it one more go. You know what I'm saying? Let me feel that thing one more time before I make sure I'm ready to go. Okay? That's what that song was talking about. Y'all want to listen to the lyrics? Okay? Y'all get mad, them little youngins, who was that? The Trey Songz with the last time. Same thing, honey. Said, let's try this one more time just to make sure that I'm making the right decision. Okay. That's that breakup sex. So while y'all hustling and juking and jiving, okay, juking and driving, that's why you felt it, because your soul knew it. Your soul knew it. It was a familiar space for you. It was healing for you. And whenever you hear that song, in a lot of ways, it gives you comfort in knowing that you made the right decision. And that's all a lot of people be looking for, you know, is comfort in knowing that they made the right decision. So there's times when you all's feedback, it gave me confirmation on things like, yeah, let's keep going. So it's just like your energy is what kept me. And it was like when I made that decision that I'm done now, I already knew what was going to happen. I already knew what was happening. I was prepared. So as long as you're prepared and you're doing what you're called to do when you're called to do, nothing is impossible. Nothing is too difficult. And be happy that you were introduced to real music. And I'm grateful that the Most High used me as a vessel to be a reminder of what it feels to create from the heart. In a world that wants you to change who you are and be the aesthetic, I just want you to find who you are. And every time you play my music in your house, let it be a motivation. Whew. Welcome to the membership, Maria. 44 on the time. Whew. 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 let's take a break. Let's take a quick break.